Good afternoon. It is time to get started. We're 1 minute late because I had a mouthful of crackers. I was eating a snack before stream, but we're good now, and now I won't be chewing in your ear, so I'm sure you appreciate that. But yeah, here we go. I am DanBearPig82. We're going to continue our Kerbal Space Program career playthrough. Let's take down the starting soon screen and jump right in. There we go. Yeah, last week we left off having discovered a comet and brought Kaley Kerman home to the station. We also have Kaley Kerman awaiting return to the planet with her spaceship. So we're going to start with those, but in order to bring them home, we have to send a cargo supply up so that we can modify the broken spaceship that we rescued Kaley Kerman in. And so we're going to get started with that right now. And we are actually at our time for launch now. So we were about 35 days from this alarm when we left off. So we are ready for launch now. Let's real quick check mission control. We got a couple new contracts available. Position a satellite in a synchronous orbit of Minimus. That's kind of tempting. Let's see. Oh, it's a very inclined synchronous orbit. That's very interesting. With a resource survey scanner. Oh, we want to do that anyway. Okay. Yeah, this is good. We're going to accept this. And we can start scanning for resources. We can't mine for them yet. But soon we will be able to. We just need a little bit more technology first, and then we can make a fuel refinery on Minimus and have a really nice, much cheaper refuel situation here. So let's take that. We will absolutely take that, and that puts us back over 2 million spaceos with the advance on that one. Recover Anzon and Anzon scrap from orbit of Minimus. Yeah, let's definitely take that. We have now named every Kerbal in a rescue mission that we have, so we need another one in case someone else redeems that. So there we go. We've we've maxed out our contracts again. We can theoretically have an infinite number of active contracts with a fully upgraded mission control, but there are only so many that are ever offered. So. And we've maxed that out. So what do we have? We still can build a surface outpost on the moon. We have this one where we need to dock 2 ships around Minimus. We are currently waiting for the opportunity. That's what we can't see it here. That's what our alarm is for adjusting the orbit of our COVID-2 telescope, the Celestial Object Vector Intercept Detection Telescope, and that will find our 6 asteroids. That's the one we just accepted. Science data from space around the moon. We derped last time and didn't send any science back when we were around the moon, so we're gonna do that. Geosynchronous orbit of Kerbal. That's one we can do. That's one we just accepted. We should be at Duna soonish. Same with Moho, and we can send some science data back. We launched this last week too. This was the first time we've used the nuclear engines. Yes, nuclear. And we're going to use those for the Comet expedition and for the Jeb rescue that we're going to try today. There's Kaley, the Kerbinator. I just renamed that one. I had accidentally completed that redeem in Twitch. That's one that was redeemed by Twiglet. So I remembered to put that in there. And this is another one by Twiglet. The Kerbinator and the Warden. Oh, geez. And they're both on the surface of Minimus, so that's interesting. And then rescue Alpin from orbit of the moon. We rescued her. We just need to send her back to Kerbal. So, give me just a moment here. I need to hit the cough button for a second. My allergies are hitting a bit today. There we go. Sorry about that. So yeah, let's work first on this one here. we're going to send a heat shield and some parachutes up and attach them to Kaley's scrap and bring her home. And then we'll bring Alpin home. We have one derp module on the station. We need to send more soon because we are not up to code. We are not following Space OSHA guidelines. OSHA? It's Kerbal, so we gotta put a K in front of everything, right? KOSHA guidelines, Space KOSHA. So let's get to it. I've made a little bit of a change to the way we did it last time. We were thinking about maybe docking something to the ship would be the way to go, and it still might be, but we're gonna do it the same way again with the EVA construction. I actually feel like that worked very well. So if we go to not Big Fuel Tank 2.0, but Big Fuel Tank 2.1, which is now more of a general resupply mission. So this is almost identical to our previous fuel resupplies, except now, last time we had replaced this protective nose cone with a cargo storage unit, a couple of the little ones. This time I've just attached this directly to it, and we can deorbit all of this at the same time. It'll actually be cheaper in the long run because we won't have to do 2 runs with the space forklift to get rid of this stuff. We can just do 1 to deorbit this whole unit, and we need to put on board, let's see, under thermal, we need the 1 1/4 meter heat shield. That's the one that fits on Kaley's ship. And we also need 2 of these ones here. And I don't think they stack. No, they don't. So we got to put them in different slots. So there's that. And what else do we need? We also need a docking port so that we can push it with our space forklift. So under coupling, we need the Clampatron docking port. There we go. So there is our cargo. And let's see if we can do another one of these without having to dip into this fuel tank. That would be pretty awesome. Last time, it was the first time we'd managed that. So, let's go ahead and launch. As we are ready to do that, let's double check our staging real quick. Okay, those are good. When we separate the solid boosters, separate the main booster, upper stage engine, and that is the protective nose cone right there. Alright, cool. Yep, we are good to go. Let's launch. Let's roll this out to the launch pad. Alright. Here we go, and let's do once again our my favorite launch viewing site. Set target. Let's just look straight at that fuel tank and set our position to right up here on the helipad. That's where we're gonna watch the launch. And yeah, no auto flyby, good. There we go. Awesome, and we got some clouds giving us some shade, so it's nice and comfortable up here. All right, so we want the flight recorder on. There we go. Altitude, acceleration, dynamic pressure, and throttle up. Stability assist is on, and let's see. We are go for launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Vehicle is pitching downrange and is definitely wobbly. We've had this issue before, and I've been looking at the auto struts and have not been able to prevent it from being super wobbly, unfortunately. So less wobbly than in my tests, though. So that's good. Oh no, there, it's wobbling. We're wobbling. Oh wow. Vehicle is supersonic just as we're passing a 60-degree pitch, exactly as I was hoping. have maximum aerodynamic pressure. Max Q. Coming up on solid rocket booster burnout and separation. SRB burnout and clean separation. Everything is looking nominal. And we've basically stopped the wobble too, so that's even more nominal. Coming up on main booster cutoff, main engine cutoff. Nico, and stage separation, and second engine start. And the stars are coming out. Super zoomed in, so super pixelated. There we go, that looks better. Alright, let's take a look at the map and see where we are in relation to the station. It's behind us, that's excellent. So we're going to go into a low orbit. But no, we're going to go into a high orbit, let it catch up. If we were behind it, then we would want our low orbit. Alright, we should go ahead and jettison the nose cone. Okay, let's wait until we're actually up. This is pretty good. Here we go. It's gone. Yeah. We're very near space. Atmosphere is very thin here. A very efficient gravity turn here. We're getting a nice direct descent to orbit. Alright, yeah, let's actually go for a 150 kilometer apoapsis, and then let's circularize, and then see how efficiently we can raise our orbit and get to the station. There we go. And we are 14 minutes away from our apoapsis. That's about the most aggressive gravity turn I have done. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're still in the atmosphere. So we've got physics warp on. We can only go up to 4 times on physics warp. Pete Venkman with the first but not really. You're actually first, though, unless that's glitching out and saying out of stock again. Welcome, Pete Venkman. Damn. Nice. All right. Go ahead and point a little bit more towards prograde. As is customary every stream, I have to say how much I miss having persistent rotation. Let's set Arcadia Station as our target. Relative inclination of almost 2 degrees, so we should adjust the orbit of Arcadia Station today too. I keep threatening to do that. We just need to do a little bit of station keeping and its inclination. Just slightly adjust its apoapsis and periapsis. And actually, due to a little bit of drag, we have lost a bit on our apoapsis, so let's just gently push. That'll help us steer as well. An absurdly low throttle. Impossibly low. No real rocket engine can do this. There we go. That's pretty good. And we are almost 6 minutes away from apoapsis. Just a bit of time warp and we'll get there. Don't want to go past it. Alright, we're adjusting our attitude towards prograde, and then just a little bit of thrust, and we can circularize this, and then we can decide where to burn to best catch up to the station. Or let the station catch up to us, however it may turn out to be. There we go. Circular orbit. Alright, we are here, and station is back here, so... yeah, there's our ascending node and descending node. See if we can pin both of these. That's fine, we can pin the descending node too. Alright, so we need to plan our transfer burn. Let's plan it ahead of us, not behind us. There we go. We're not a whole orbit around. Okay, that's what we're looking at. We have 400 meters per second available in this stage before we dip into the other thing. So it looks like we are going to dip slightly into it. That's all right. If we do it this way. Alternately... no, we're going to do it this way. We want to be quick about this. Right there. Ooh. All right, looks like this is our optimal burn right here, and that's coming up in 3 minutes. 312 meter per second burn, so yeah, we're definitely going to be unlocking the fuel tank we're carrying, and that is fine. So do stability assist mode and point right towards the maneuver marker, and follow it towards prograde as we orbit Kerbal. There we go. Come on. So heavy. There we go. All right, coming up on the node in 1 minute. So 23-second burn at full thrust. So we're going to want to be maybe half thrust, so add about 23 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and throttle up. Yeah, we're going to meet it right at the ascending node, so that's nice. No need to change our inclination, just match orbit when we get there. So I guess that will be changing inclination, but we don't have to do it first. Throttle way down for the last little bit, for precision's sake. Alright, let's close that, and let's see how well we've done. 400 meters. I'll take it. Yeah, 450 meters. That's not bad at all. And that's coming up in 1 hour and 1 minute. So let's go ahead and unlock this tank now. And then let's warp around to here. Plenty of time in sunlight, so we've got good battery power. Let's go to target mode and point retrograde. And we are descending over the top of our target. There it is, right down there. That's awesome. Okay, can we zoom in and get any more detail, or is it just a dot? It's just a dot. And actually, I think it's no, it's right there on the same side of the planet as us. Yeah, of course, we're going to meet it at night, but you know, that's tradition too. All right, it's 110 kilometers away. Let's time warp a bit. We're definitely going to need to do a hard burn to slow down when we get there. 80 kilometers. 70. 60. 50. 40. We're closing the distance more and more slowly as we come into alignment. 30. Alright, we're 20 kilometers away. Let's adjust our attitude here. Yes, separation approach 445 meters and 807 meters per second. Let's see if this agrees with that. This is usually more accurate. This says 344, so that's probably more accurate. Makes more sense because that's about what we spent to get into this orbit. So getting back into this orbit, but at the same point as the station, that makes a lot more sense. And yeah, that matches this. Alright, let's actually slow down some now. Meters per second separation, and we didn't change our separation at approach at all, so that's good. All right, let's do that again. We don't want to blow past this thing. There's the lag spike as we come in physics range. 100 meters per second. Yeah, let's bleed off some of that. 20 meters per second is much more manageable. Let's pull up alongside, and then let's come to a complete stop. We're getting closer than advertised. That's not a bad thing. As long as we don't hit it, you know? Nice, we're on the correct side too, so this will be an easy maneuver. There we go. Okay, and we've got just a little bit of fuel left in this. That's perfect. We can use that for deorbiting the thing. Let's go ahead and undock the fuel tank. All right, and we can leave this here. Let's switch to the station. Burke with the actual first. See, Pete Bingman, you could have had that. You could have had that. You were definitely first, but not really. Hello, Burke. Welcome. All right, and we have nearly full fuel on this thing. That should be fine. Yeah, we're good. Undock. Alright, control from... Actually, what? Did it redock? It did. Let's see. Undock. Space Forklift 2. There we go. That's what we want. Pull away. And with the first Boozinate. Man, says Pete Beckman, and Burke saying, man, I'm getting all the good redeems. Here we go. I gotta pour it. That's the first one. And the hydrate. I'll do that after the Boozinate. There we go. Got our pop rocket again today. Yeah, you're gonna have to brag about that one to Shipwreck for sure. There we go. Thank you, Burke. And if you hydrate when you Boozinate, you're less likely to have a hangover. That is absolutely true. Here's the hydrate. Keep hangover down it, bae. Meanwhile, everything's, drifting apart, but it's okay. Everything's still pretty close together. Awesome. Thank you, Burke. All right. Control from here. Make sure we're doing that. Activate the camera, and let's see. I think this is counted as debris. Yeah, big fuel tank 2.1 debris. And let's turn around and take a look at it. Yep, 300 meters away. That's not bad at all. .1 meters per second. Thank you for the host, Burke. All right, 6 meter separation at closest approach. That's as close as it gets. And another host from Burke. Is that Moobot derping, or did you do that so that you'd get another... Dang it, says Burke. Alright, and yeah, let's make sure... The Clampotron docking port is our target. There we go. And slow down. No, I was typing a sentence, but the host button was selected. Oh, so you didn't even mean to host. I see how it is. I see how it is. So every time I hit space, it activated and deactivated. That's... Oh, yeah. You just wanted more attention. And fair enough. The first source is what selected the button. I know, I'm just giving you a hard time. Let's see. But yeah, thank you, Burke. Alright, so this is a slightly modified version of our usual fuel tank. It's got a cargo canister built in, so it's more of a general resupply mission than just a refuel mission. So yeah, we're going to use this to modify Kaley's scrap and return Kaley, hopefully safely, home to Kerbal. The way we did, I forget which one that was last week. There we go. Picked that up. Oh, and look, we've got Dawn. Kaley Station is our target. And all that done, says Burke. I need to go help my aunt, so I will be lurking. Thank you for the lurk, Burke. I hope things go well there. And say hello for me. Alright. Control from here. Activate the camera. We're a kilometer away from the station now. That is okay. There it is. Let's get a nice close approach. Meters, 200. Okay, 150. That's really good. There it goes on its curving path because every path in space is curved. And we want to point retrograde and be ready to slow down when we get close. That'll be a lot more effective with our main engines. So yeah, 400 meter separation. And warp just a bit. Let's get to 200 meters and then slow down. Alright, just under 1 meter per second. I like it. The rest of this we can do much more effectively with our maneuvering thrusters. Whoa, slow down. Stop turning. There we go. We can see our docking port we want right there. There we go. Set as target. Excellent. We'll use our maneuvering thrusters, see if we can get lined up with it. Our separation at approach is dropping down to 40 meters now. Meters. 10. Alright, and now it's going back up, which means we're going to pass it just slightly, which is excellent. Slow down a bit. Carrying a very heavy full fuel tank, nearly full fuel tank. We don't want to come in too hard. .7 meters per second. 0.6. 0.5 and 0.4. That'll do. We're aligned on one axis, and then we're coming into alignment on the other axis. There we go. Yeah, I really wish it were it were easier to convey through the stream just how much this thing resists me in flying it. This is a very heavy payload. There we go. And just about there. Bring it in nice and gently. Whoop. Perfect. There we go. Nice. All right, let's bring up the fuel balancer, and let's call up this tank right there, and pump fuel out and oxidizer out. Won't take much because we're nearly full on this guy. And there we go. We have a fully fueled Pork 4 rescue vehicle. Let's also do RCS fuel. We want... There they are right there. This one is the next one we're doing. So pump out. And there we go. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so there is Kaley's scrap right there. So what we need to do is get an engineer out. And let's see. Burke is on the surface of a planet, I think. You know what? Kaley's an engineer. She can do this. Maybe. She's a 1-star engineer. Kefri is a 2-star engineer. Let's see if Kaley can do this. Automatic EVA disabled. Activate a hatch. That's interesting. Okay. Is it because she's here? Maybe it is. Alright, let's go here. Transfer crew. Kaley can go on EVA. There we go. And the reason I'm not sure if she can do this is, as a 1-star engineer, I'm not sure if she can attach a docking port. Also, we want to... Will that release it? Yes, it will. Nice. There we go. Alright, get closer. Okay, yeah, so whichever side we attach the heat shield to will be the heavier side. So that's good. We've got... Oof. It's kind of far away. From our cargo, but that's all right. Let's see what we can do here. We might be throwing cargo at the thing, because, yeah, frustratingly, as we've found out before, we cannot use the maneuvering while holding a piece, while holding a part. All right, let's pull this up. And let's grab the heat shield first. So I did the maneuver, and then I picked up the part. So, a little bit hacky, but it works. Because, yeah, now these are rotation controls. And it's getting away, dang it. Go faster. Yeah, this is so cheesy here. But it's that way because it should be a little bit more robust, the system, but it is not. And it's not going to get any updates, unfortunately. I have to wait for Kerbal Space Program 2. Pete Bagman with, these spacewalks scare me to death. I know. Oh, there we go. Almost lost it there. Oh, this is such a pain. Such a pain. There we go. There we go. Whoa. Did you just clip it in there, Kaley? Why would you do that? Let's unclip it. What the heck? That was weird. Wow, okay, so while we're moving... Wow, okay. We're going to really want to slow down. Yeah, that's why it clips. So while we're moving relative to this thing... Yikes. Can we grab it? Yeah, we're seeing once again how just super wonky the physics get in spacewalk mode. Yeah, that makes me real nervous. Really nervous. Toggle snap, there we go. Ah, I don't like that. I don't like it. All right. We're going to call that good because wow. That's awful. Thanks, squad. I hate it. All right, we got to go pick up the next piece. And after we return Kaley and Alpen Kerman, we are going to launch a cometary expedition using those nuclear engines. All right, we got to go a little bit quick here. I wonder if she can hold one of these. No. Nope. But she doesn't need a parachute. So, all right, let's grab the parachutes. And find her ship. Because where did it go? Ships, Kaley's scrap. There it is. All right. Pick it up. No! Pick it up. Oh. It's pronounced New Quailer. New Kaler? Nice. Alright. Pick it up! Oh my gosh. That's really annoying. Okay. We've lost the piece. Where's that parachute? There it is. Nope. Nope. Where did it go? Kaley! Kaley, you lost the piece! You lost the parachute! Where is it? Oh no. Okay. Should be right behind us. I don't see it. I don't see it. No! Kerbal Space Program, why are you like this? Okay, we're going to carefully scan. See if we can find that parachute. It's there. We just can't see it. Oh, this is Garbaggio Kerbal Space Program. Garbaggio. There it is. There it is. Found it. Oh, wow. Meanwhile, Kaley's scrap is getting farther and farther away. Just, you know, nothing to worry about here. Everything is fine. Nothing wrong. But that is our target. See how close we can get. There we go. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, strongly dislike. Strongly dislike. There it is, we found it. Get over there, Kaley. There we go. Let's not lose it again. Alright, we need to go here to Kaley's scrap. Why can't I pick it up? There we go. Alright. Pick it up. There we go. Whew, I'm just sweating, you know, that's all. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up! Oh my gosh. I'm clicking, and it's not... Pick it. There we go. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. All right, can I time warp while holding this? I can. Okay, at least that works. Woof. Meanwhile, we're getting really far away from that space station. Might try pushing this back. Sorry, I meant nuclear. Nuclear. Okay, out of time warp. And we picked it up. Nice, okay. All right. Picked it up. Picked it up. All right. Grab it. There we go. Slow down and grab it. Grab it. Grab it. Grab it. Do you hear me clicking? Do you hear me clicking? I'm totally clicking. Oh my gosh. I'm getting mad at this game. I swear. This... Why? Why you gotta be like this? There we go. Kaley scrap is our target. Right there. Pick it up. There we go. So, maybe we don't go back and get the docking port. I wonder if she can push it into a suborbital flight. All right, we're gonna get 630 meters, it says. I don't think that's accurate. We're already closer than that. Oh, but it's getting farther away. Pick it up. There we go. All right, 23 meters. That's better. Yeah, because we're getting really far from the station now. This is taking a longer time than it should. And the reason we undocked it is we didn't want the Kraken to make our station explode again. So we've dealt with that. We've done that. We've been there. Don't need to do that again. All right, 3 meters separation. That will do nicely. Oh. Okay, let's get close. And let's just pop this thing on the other side and then push. Let's see what happens. Worst case scenario, we can bring the rescue vehicle back around. Satan, welcome. Stopping in to say hello on my way to work. Have a good day, dude. You have a good day at work, Satan. Good to see you here. All right. We're very close. In fact, we're in range, so let's drop that and slow down. There we go. And pick it up and just pop it right there. Although she cannot get in now if we do that because it's over the hatch. So we're gonna adjust that. We're gonna put it right here like that. And that should be fine. Okay, so how far away is the station now? 483 meters. That's actually not as far as I thought. Okay. Look at target. Where is it? Oh, that's... Yeah, actually, it's not bad. Okay, so... Do we really want to do that again, though? Because that took a while. Let's see if we can just push this closer instead of farther away, because that will help. Let's turn on your lights. There we go. That's better. Now we can see better too. Here we go. Find about the center of mass. Impart as little rotation as possible on this. Right there, and push. We do have some rotation, but that's okay. And as soon as we time warp, it's going to be gone anyway, unfortunately. Alright, well, I think at least it's not getting farther away anymore. Alright, so let's go back to the station. Let's top off her EVA pack. Oh, jeez. Let's put one more parachute on, just in case. Alright, here we come towards the station. Slow down. Perfect approach to the cargo canister. There we go. Let's pull this out and drop it. And we want ships Kaley's scrap to be our target. Look at the target and face it. There we go. And pick it up. There we go. Did it. Janky physics are no match for me, Dan Bear Pig, and my engineer Kaley Kerman. Alright, when we get about 200 meters away, we're going to adjust our course and slow down a bit. Don't want to fly right past it and lose everything again. That would be the worst. Alright. It's not giving me an accurate separation and approach here. It's not going to be 18 kilometers. We're getting closer right now, so... There we go. That's more like it. 43.3 meters at closest approach. I like it. Yeah, once again, though, the relative speed at approach is not accurate in the Kerbal Engineer UI, so I'm not sure why that is. There we go. 16.5 meter closest approach. That at least is accurate. But this is like it's doubled. Pi meters per second. Alright, let's time warp just a bit. There we are, close. And let's come to a stop and pick that up before we drop it on the thing and cause issues. There we go. Alright, there's the other one. Let's put this right there on the other side. Alright, I feel a lot better about that. So let's put Kaley aboard. Let's see if there's any EVA fuel to be had here. Otherwise, we're going to use the rescue vehicle to grab this thing again and push it out of orbit. And board. Okay, nope, there is not any monopropellant on board, so we cannot refill her EVA tank. So stations, Arcadia Station, and switch to target. And let's deploy this guy. Boop. Undock. Some separation. There we go. Arm and control from here. And we want Kaley's scrap to be our target. There we go. And we have more maneuvering thrusters back here because that's where all the mass is with the fuel tanks. In fact, with the fuel tanks full, center of mass is about here. With them empty, it's about here. So, pretty stable craft. Alright, let's turn off RCS for the moment, though. And point at our target. There it is. Yeah, not far away anymore because we were able to push it back towards the station. Sound effects in space. Alright, looks like Philip Brewer is our pilot again. And theoretically, this thing should be aerodynamically stable when it re-enters Kerbin's atmosphere, and we're going to give it a nice gentle descent anyway, just in case. Tighten up our approach here. This thing is also heavy when it is full. 25 meters. There we go, that's pretty good. And we can see it from here. All the details. Okay. Cowabunga, says Pete Pinkman. You are fired, sir. Aim the camera here. The claw. Alright. Final approach and grab. I really wish EVA construction wasn't so frustrating with the controls, because in concept it is so cool. And grabbed. Let's see. Let's take a look at what Kaley can see. If she can see. Alright, she can't see the claw through the thing, unfortunately. Actually, is this really Kaley's view? I think it is. Okay. Alright. So now we want to be, yeah, we're in orbital mode, so let's point retrograde, and let's drop this thing gently into Kerbin's atmosphere and hope that Kaley survives. Otherwise, we're gonna need another Kaley. I don't think she's even here to see if it goes wrong. Graceful pirouette. And throttle up. 45-kilometer. This is good. And let's release and disarm. And now let's point prograde before we re-enter the atmosphere. Reset the camera because this is a little bit weird, messing with me a bit. All right, now we will not re-enter the atmosphere. Let's see, Arcadia Station should be our target. And let's look at our target. There it is. Yeah, let's brute force our way back. Whoa, no. Stability assist mode. There we go. .5-kilometer approach. .500-meter approach. 488 meters. That's pretty good. All right, so now let's get close. We're going to get that lag spike as it loads up the station again. There we go. And we're going to want to point retrograde to the target so we can slow down when we get there. We'll dock, and then we'll switch to Kaley's craft and deorbit. Alright, coming up on our closest approach here. And here it is. Matching orbit. Alright, now let's control from here. And activate that camera. And let's look at our target and let's make our docking approach. Pretty routine at this point. And that's a good thing. All right. Maneuvering thrusters on, and let's approach. There we go. I don't want to take too long on this because we want to catch Kaley's scrap before it gets into the atmosphere. Otherwise, it could get a little bit of a bumpy ride, and we don't want that. All right, can we pick our docking port yet? Yes. No, apparently not. This is making me nervous. necessary, we'll, on rails, let Kaley's scrap come around to the next orbit. I feel like that is fair because, in theory, we would be controlling both craft at the same time, so that is fine with me. And we need to slow down. We got a nice silhouette of the station today. Nice backlighting there. Not our usual illumination. Alright, lining up. There we go. Alright, just about lined up. And there we go. Okay. Final approach. We are go for final approach. There we go. We did it. All right, let's see. Where is Kaley's scrap right now? It is in the atmosphere. So we are going to let her ship orbit and then come back around because that is a rough ride if we started that. All right, back up out of the atmosphere. Now let's switch to. And so this is to make up for that we would be monitoring both. So physics were not active on this ship while it was not focused, and we definitely want them to be focused or active when we re-enter the atmosphere. Otherwise, we're going to have a bad time. Alright, so we're going to come right back around, give Kaley a nice view of the planet, day side, and then looks like come down in the night side. Yeah, and we have no way to control the attitude of this ship. There are no reaction wheels here and no batteries, even if we had them. The only thing we can do is watch, cross our fingers, and activate the parachutes when it's time. But it should be aerodynamically stable. And that looks like it is indeed. Okay, cool. Look at this. Literally coming down in a tin can. This is great. Alright, we're going to slow down the time warp when we start getting the plasma trail effects. Yep, the blader is starting to burn off just a little bit. And yes, good, good, good. We are definitely aerodynamically stable. The heat shield is much heavier than the parachutes, so it is holding the ship front first. Well, as much as there is a front to this thing. There really isn't. Let's see what Kaley's view is. Yeah, a little bit of a bumpy ride, but better than if we had suddenly loaded up physics while in the deep, soupy part of the atmosphere. All right, it's looking good so far. Yeah, we're decelerating. Blader is just fine. We have much more blader than we'll actually need for this. And this should be more than enough parachute for craft this light. Yeah, this is just under 1.5 tons. Might as well enjoy the view. That one's on me. Ew. Elric redeeming the booze name. Okay, this one's on you, Elric. Thank you. That always happens. And the hydrate. Thank you, Elric. We're starting to get into the soupy part of the atmosphere, and we're coming in pretty fast. And yep, this will be the only pass, it looks like. Hey, and we have a first chat from Maslim. What is this emote? I need to put this down and then mouse over it and see. Welcome, Maslim. Good to have you here. And Sip. That is from Ammunition. I've heard of Ammunition, but I have never been to Ammunition. Very cool. I guess that's for the hydrate, huh? And the boozinate. That works. Thank you. Is Ammunition a Minecraft streamer? I have definitely heard that name mentioned before. Let's get a cool... We'll fly by. Should be on. Target self. There we go. Nice. And we have One Bad Panda with the Hey Guys emote. Welcome, One Bad Panda. Okay, we survived the bad part of the reentry. Only used 33 ablator. Not bad at all. Yeah, welcome new viewers. Good to have you here. We are rescuing Kaley Kerman. That was a pro bono, for so to speak, redeem from me of one of my viewers, because she made. Oh, we have we have follower emotes now. Let's see. Yeah, we have plenty of altitude. Let me. She drew this emote. It loses a little bit in the scaling down, so let's look at while Katie's coming down, we should have our cat on the screen. There we go. My friend Kaylee Obsidia, who streams art and Minecraft, drew that cat for me as a channel point redeem in her channel. So yeah. Mouselum says she started out with Minecraft years ago and has played occasionally, but she's been more a variety streamer with lots of FPS games. Oh, very cool. And what's this One Bad Panda? One bad cat. That's amazing. I like that. All right, when we're over the water, so when we get down to about 2 kilometers, we're going to deploy the parachute so we can see the water. And I know it's dark. We're coming down at night. We always seem to do that. So we're going to deploy our parachutes right now. Deploy. Excuse me. Deploy. 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 What? Why did they not deploy? Oh. Oh no, you guys. I killed my friend.
Let's That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Oh no! This cannot be. Well, we're definitely gonna have another Kaley Kerman. Oops, that was the wrong button. We're definitely gonna need another Kaley Kerman because we can't just let us not have a Kaley engineer in our crew. We're going to have a Kaley. That was the game bugging out on me. I'm calling cracking on that one because they were safe to deploy. I was staging like mad, and it wouldn't deploy. I even tried to reset the staging. I'm very sad now. Oh no. Let's look at the full art that she made. That's the transparent version. Yep, that's a picture of one of my 3 cats, and she's gonna draw the other 2 as well, and they're all gonna be emotes on this channel. Well, you guys came in at a low point. I'm sorry. Let's see. Ripperonis, is that cross made out of pepperoni? Oh no, that's wow, 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 wow. Well, that was unfortunate. We haven't had a lost Kerbal in quite a while, so we're gonna have to have a proper memorial soon. For now, let's go to the tracking station. We're not gonna revert that. I have no idea why it would not let me deploy those parachutes. They should absolutely have been deployed. Maybe it's because there wasn't a command pod on the thing, but that shouldn't have mattered because there was a crew aboard. So yeah, I'm gonna call shenanigans on Kerbal Space Program on that, and we're going to rescue a different Kaley later. That was test dummy Kaley. That was not real Kaley. That was pod person Kaley. All right, let's deorbit this. Let's boom something for real. On purpose this time. And we've got plenty of litter up in space, so we don't want a lot more. Let's point retrograde. And Elric with the game over, man. Absolutely. She wasn't here to see that. I'll have to clip it and send it to her. All right. Periapsis is negative, which means it is inside of the surface of the planet. And yeah, that's gonna have cost us too, because that was a lucrative contract. Not too much, thank goodness, but yeah, that's a bad. That's a very bad. All right, let's bring this thing into the atmosphere, and this thing we want to destroy. Alright, so we're going to point a little bit downward. A lot of bit downward, maybe. Yeah, let's point radial in. Right at the surface of the planet and full throttle for shipwreck. There we go. And let's bring it down. I know it's dark. We have a habit of doing these things at night instead of during the day. Alright, we flipped around because the engine is the heavy part here. And yeah, we can leave it on physics warp. We're not trying to save this thing at all, so it's fine. Alright, getting toasty. Let's take it out of physics warp and watch it if it explodes. But my prediction is, since this is pretty lightweight, since it's an empty fuel tank, and has a lot of surface area, we're actually going to survive reentry and crash. As long as we don't crash in anyone's backyard, it's okay. Uh-oh. I'm gonna have to tell Kaley that I killed her Kerbal. That's the first one we've lost on our viewer rescues. in nice and straight. As Tori Bruno says, hot, straight, and normal. That's what you want out of a rocket. Look at that view. Yep, we survived Reentry, so let's go back into the physics warp here. I was hoping for some booms there, but that's okay. Oliver says he loves my rockets. Nice. Alright, here we go. This time it's on purpose. Match. Alright, back to... Let's see if we can properly recover a viewer Kerbal this time. Let's rescue our friend Alpin. Back to the station. Arcadia Station. What a time we've had. What a time. Kaley, this one is for you. Okay. First let's see, where is... Where's our argument of periapsis here? We should probably have that. So we want to adjust this station, but we can do that later. Let's rescue Alpin Glow Up. She redeemed Alpin Kerman. And there she is right there. Like rockets too, Quincy. Oh no. These are Pete Vegman 84 is my brother, and these are his kids. How old are your kids? Remind me. I can't keep them straight. Transfer crew. Let's transfer Kaley into here. So they, I assume, actually typed those messages, and then my brother put the attribution on the end. That's my guess right there. Here we go. Alpin, let's hope that you don't suffer the same fate as our friend Kaley here. You're cool, says Oliver. Nice. That's hilarious. Hello, guys. Alright, this is the appropriately named DERP module. Deployable Emergency Return Pod. And Alpin Glow Up is an engineer, so she cannot do any of the fancy flying, but we can do it ourselves manually. And let's throttle up a bit. We only have maneuvering thrusters on this thing. And we want to deorbit this thing. So it's going to look like we're going faster relative to the station, but we are actually slowing down relative to the planet. So you can see we're moving east pretty quick. 0.1 kilometers per second. So we're just slowing down relative to the station so that we can deorbit. Excuse me, I got hiccups now. I'm all choked up. Cool space station, says Oliver. Thank you, Oliver. I appreciate it. Alright. Full throttle. And let's speed up the game a little bit, because these are very low power thrusters. And knock on wood, but these DERP modules have a 100% success rate. There we go. Alright, we're going to go for about 32 kilometers. Periapsis. Periapsis is the lowest point in the atmosphere. Alright, we're sped up. There we go. That'll do it. Turn off thrusters, and we know that these are aerodynamically stable, so we're going to time warp until we get into the atmosphere. I'm very sad now. Let's turn off stability assist, let the aerodynamics, there we go, aerodynamics take over. And as the atmosphere thickens, this will stabilize itself. Heat shield first. Whoa, there goes the camera, changing its reference point. All right, let's see what Alpin sees through her window here. Alpin Glow Up is a friend of mine. She played for a while on the first SMP with me, and she is currently playing on Shamblecraft and Autocraft, playing Minecraft. I'm going to actually shout her out here. Yeah, give her a follow. She is very fun to watch. Just take a look around here. Software glitch. Update before flight. Don't forget. I don't think we forgot. I forgot if we remembered or not, though. Reminder, close the hatch and don't forget the snacks. Yeah, nice and stable here. Here we go. And yeah, we didn't have anything in this this bit of the HUD right here on the last flight, so I think maybe it's just that it didn't count that passenger compartment as a command pod, even though it had crew aboard. So yeah, that was pretty lame. I'm gonna say it was pretty lame. And I think we might just have to rename that to Pod Person Kaley now that that information has come to light. Now that we know that that was just a pod person, and then we'll rescue the real Kaley later. All right, back to physics mode time warp. We're coming down on top of the mountains. Not ideal, but I think we're going to be on a plateau and okay. All right, we're 8 kilometers above the terrain. Yeah, we got quite a slope here. We're going to turn stability assist back on. And at 2 kilometers, we're going to deploy the parachutes. Should work this time. There we go. See, that's what we were expecting, is that. And then at 1 kilometer, they will fully deploy. And she's going to get a jolt. There it is. Yeah, up to almost 8 Gs right there as the parachutes catch her. And let's speed our way down. Yeah, coming down at a gentle 3.6 meters per second instead of the 100 and something that Kaley experienced when she hit the water real hard. Yeah, we didn't like that. I'm refreshing the viewer list to see if she shows up. Yes. She'll be like, wait, what? What happened? Oh, I see. She's streaming a UHC, a Minecraft UHC right now. So yeah, she's none the wiser, and she doesn't have to know. Nobody has to tell her. All right, as we get close to the ground, we're going to slow the game back down. All right, real time here. And look at the slope. I don't like it. All right, we are down. Okay, we're fine. All right, Alpin. Let's see. Do we have any science that we can gather from here? I think so. We're in the mountains. Let's get a crew report. Oh, no, we've already gotten that. Okay, yeah, we already have the mountain science. Our lips are sealed, says Maslam. Thank you, Maslam. Oh, I'd be in so much trouble. All right, let's recover the vessel and successfully complete a contract. So, yes, I can do it. I can do it. And then let's launch a mission to a comet. Okay. Alpin Glowup is ready for her next assignment. Alpin Kerman. Let's see what we've got here. Linby and Linby's Hulk rescue from the moon. Recover module XCF6 from the surface of Minmus. I think we're going to leave those for now. But let's take a look at the tracking station here, and let's see if we can still see that comet, or if we need to wait for the next one. Alright, might need to zoom way out here. And let's clean this up. Let's toggle off probes, rovers, landers, ships. Let's leave the stations, but let's put unknown objects back in. Class F. I think asteroids only go up to Class E, so if it's a Class F or above, then it is probably a comet. Yeah, so I think we have 2 comets here. Can we see them, though, is the question. Do we know their orbits? We don't know their orbits, we just know where they are. So I think the comet that we were looking at before has actually passed us. But let's take a look at this. Now here's the interesting thing, because we're in territory of this game that I am not actually familiar with. I've been to an asteroid, but it's been a long time, a very long time. We're 24 days away from changing the orbit of our COVID-2 telescope. That stands for Celestial Object Vector Intercept Detection Telescope, and that's what is monitoring these for us. And we're trying to get it into this orbit here. So let's see. Oh yeah, these are little pieces of ships that we have dropped along the way. Very funny. Okay. Yeah, these are known space objects, and we don't have any known space objects. Is there anything that I can do with these? Yeah, Class F objects are on elliptical orbits are likely not just a typical rock floating in space. These larger unidentified space objects are up to 100 meters in size. So yeah, these are big, and it's probably a comet. All right, what time is it on Kerbin right now? Is it daytime at the Space Center? It is night. Let's that's perfect actually. Let's leave the tracking center and let's take a look up into the sky. There we go. After it loads. Can we even... I can't move the camera any more than this, unfortunately. Dang it. Yeah, so if there's a comet overhead, we can't see it from here. Here are our memorials. We're going to have to be adding another one, unfortunately. So... we're going to need to launch something and see if we can get it to intersect, but I don't think we have enough information. So let's go back up to our space station and let's see if we can search the sky more from there. Arcadia Station. And I wonder if from this map view we can do any more planning. I don't want to rely on MechJeb to plan this for us. I want to, at least for the first one, see if we can do it ourselves here. Searching the night sky. Remember, the comet looked really cool. It was the first one I had ever seen in this game. And it does appear that it has passed us by. That's unfortunate. Alright, map view. Yeah, these are all going to be asteroids that are crossing Kerbin's orbit near our planet. This one is out crossing the orbit of Duna right now. I don't think we can set it as our target either. Interesting, okay. So here's the question, how do we approach it? Because what if it's on a retrograde orbit? So presumably it's coming in, probably coming in to the sun, but maybe it's leaving the sun. I don't know. I just know where it is. I don't know its current path, unlike the planets whose paths are very well documented here. So we can maybe send something out to it, but we're going to want a lot of delta V so that we can just, you know, fly right past. So yeah, let's just make something that will just go as fast as possible past it and can adjust its course as needed. So we just need all of the delta V. And it's a good thing we have nuclear engines now, because that's what we need for delta V. There's an even more efficient engine. There's the ion engine, but it gives 2 kilonewtons of thrust, just 2. So you're talking about hours of burn, and it needs a ton of electricity in order to actually provide the thrust, so that's not going to be our option. Let's see. We had a recent mission. I think it was our Eve mission. We can modify that. So let's go to Eve Exploration Probe. Is this the one? Is this the modified version? It looks like it, with 14 kilometers per second delta V. I would say it is. Let's take the launcher off. Yep, that's it right there. All that fuel, 1 nuclear engine on it. And yes, I'm saying nuclear on purpose because it's funny. We don't need a lander, so we can discard this. How about that? Get rid of these. And let's actually double the amount of fuel we've got here. So, yeah, we're going to go nuts on this fuel. Zoom in, see if we can get this very nicely aligned. Like that. Only 1 engine, though. These things are heavy and expensive. Okay. We also don't really need... Yeah, but let's leave it there anyway, just in case. Okay, so this alone has 14 kilometers per second of delta V. I don't believe that this will only burn for 3 minutes and 41 seconds, though. That's... doesn't seem right. Oh, yeah, there we go. That stage will burn for 3 minutes and 41 seconds. This stage will burn for just over 1 hour. So... yeah, that's pretty intense. It burns the fuel very slowly, but it does accelerate it quite a lot, and that's how come we get such efficiency out of it. Alright, let's check our staging, and we're definitely going to need to time warp a little bit to put time between launches. So here is our main engine and our 4 solid boosters, and our launch clamps. Good, and then we separate the boosters, the solid boosters, and then we separate the main booster, and ignite the upper stage engine. And there's the fairing, and there is the separator for the actual ship itself, and there is the Nerve atomic rocket motor. And there's that, just in case we want to use it. Cool. So yeah, most traditional engines burn liquid fuel and oxidizer, and the explosion that creates is channeled through the rocket nozzle, and that is how the gases are accelerated and we get thrust. But the atomic rocket motor just takes regular liquid fuel and runs it across a nuclear reactor, and the heat from the nuclear reactor is what accelerates the gases, and that gives us much lower thrust but much higher efficiency. Plus, we only need to carry liquid fuel, we don't need to carry any oxidizer, and that's how we're getting 17 kilometers per second total delta V out of this ship. Let's see. We need a clever name, and we might not have it today. Let's see. Comet Seer. We're just gonna call it that. If anyone has a more clever name than that, I am very much open. I'm terrible at names. Absolutely terrible at names. So let's go and move the clock forward about 15 days. About 2 weeks is what we've been putting between launches. We don't have to in the vanilla game, but I like doing that. Simulate a little bit of time that it takes to refurbish the pad, roll out the rocket, build the rocket. And also, since our missions are much expanded in scope from before, we definitely want to move the clock forward. Otherwise, we're never actually going to see the places that we're launching to. So when we're 10 days away from this alarm, that's when we're going to launch. So 2 weeks. And then we're going to have to, we're going to put this thing in orbit, and then we're going to double check that we've got a comet that we can go and intercept. And, well, hopefully it'll be a comet. We're going to choose the biggest object in the sky that isn't a planet. And we're going to burn straight towards it, basically. And then we're going to watch and see. I mean, we could be watching and seeing while we do this, I guess, but that's okay. All right, we're going to roll this thing out to the launch pad and launch it. And then we're going to, once we've launched towards it, see if we need to make any course corrections, which we definitely will. We're just going to have to see which course corrections we need to make. All right, Comet Seer 1.0, launch. And by launch, we mean roll it out to the launch pad. Loading, loading, loading. There it is. All right, and let's this time let's look at the there we go, the booster cam that I put on this thing. And let's open up our flight recorder from the MechJeb mod, and let's monitor altitude, acceleration, and dynamic pressure. Throttle up, stability assist is on, and we are go for launch. Muslim says they don't do a hop from the VAB to the pad. I've seen some pretty insane things people have done where they actually build like giant mobile launch pads and stuff. Especially with the wonky physics in this game, sometimes I'm always nervous to do that, and I'm also not that good at it. But that would be a fun thing to do at some point. But yeah, there are some mods that simulate that, but they don't animate that, unfortunately. But yeah, we are go for launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Vehicle is pitching downrange. There's the VAB right there. Everything is looking nominal, as John Innsbrucker would say. Alright, solid booster burnout and separation, and we are also supersonic. And as those burned out, that was maximum dynamic pressure as well, all at once. That's a dramatic spike for the dynamic pressure there, since the thrust drops so drastically when the SRBs burn out. Some says one of the first I saw like that was Cupcake Landers. Today I built a rocket, where he assembled his multi-stage rocket with payload on the pad using VTOLs. I think I've seen that one, actually. Yeah, there's some wild stuff out there. Really wild stuff. Alright, we're going to hold a 30-degree pitch here. Coming up on main engine cutoff. Miko, stage separation, and second engine start. So, Maslam, I take it then that you are a Kerbal player. Did you get here from N9's Discord? I'm wondering. Or did you see me on the Twitch page? I'm always curious about this. Alright, holding the 30-degree pitch. Let's close this, we don't need that anymore. There's the view inside the fairing. KSP section of Twitch. Very cool. And yeah, I'm not sure we're going to have... This is a heavier payload than I anticipated. I'm not sure this is going to actually work. Let's go ahead and separate the fairing. There it goes. Watched N9 though. Yeah, N9 is fantastic. Yeah, this is actually not a good ascent. I did not account properly for the weight of this payload. So, I don't think we're actually going to make it to orbit. And we're going to have to wait another 2 weeks and launch another one. Whoopsie. Good thing we have the budget for this. Yeah, we're going to hold this orientation, though, and then see what we can get. Let's physics warp just a bit. Okay, we're pushing apoapsis away from us. That's good news. We might make it after all. With a lot of fuel waste, but yeah, the real question, though, we're about to lose a whole lot of thrust as we burn up this stage, which was supposed to get us to orbit. And then we're going to be starting the nuclear engine in atmosphere, where it is not very efficient. Burnout. There we go. Okay, we're nearly there though, but we have too much drag. Yep. This is a bust, I'm afraid. So we're going to let this thing fall into the ocean, and we're going to launch another one, dang it. This is, I'm going to count that one as a derp. Let's see, I have... my moderators are busy elsewhere, so they're not here, so I'm going to have to do the derp myself. Yeah, that one I'm counting as a derp. I'm not counting the Kaley one as a derp, because that was... I disagree with the game on that one. Alright, well, it looks like some fissile material is coming down over a populated area. That's bad news for somebody. Might as well fire up the engine. I love this plume, though. Okay, it looks like we're going to miss populated areas. That's good news for somebody. Yeah, this is not slowing down much because it is heavy. Yeah, we got 34 tons of mass here. Hopefully there's not, you know, a fishing boat in the exclusion zone. That's what they call that, right? Where you're not allowed to sail during a launch. Smash. Yeah, that was a fail. That was a fail for sure. Close, and let's go back to the Space Center. Let's let 2 more weeks go by, and that will actually take us to our next alarm. So that alarm, the precision is not very important on, so we're going to go ahead and just warp to that alarm. Yeah, let's warp to that alarm. Let's adjust the orbit of the telescope, and then let's launch another Comet Explorer. Yeah, maybe we should put bigger boosters on it too. So that would probably be a good idea. Let's open the alarms. There we go, and warp to next. Ah, epilepsy alert. Hope no one has an issue with strobing lights who's watching right now. All right, the COVID-2, the Celestial Object Vector Intercept Detection Telescope. All right, delete. Let's jump to the vessel and then delete and close. And I think we've given ourselves 1 day, maybe just 1 hour, either 1 hour or 1 day of lead time to the actual periapsis. There we go. Delete and close. Periapsis in 1 hour. Okay, cool. And we're close enough. We can really do this now. But yeah, we are trying to match this orbit. So we do have probe control. Excellent. 71% signal strength. Not bad. We have lots of fuel. Okay, let's go ahead and warp 50 minutes. And point retrograde. Let's take a look at our contract parameters as well. That's this one here. We need to reach the designated orbit and then map 6 asteroids that threaten Kerbal. And it's, oh, yeah, the orbit disappeared because we're there. Okay. All right, we're in the designated orbit. Fantastic. Size H, gargantuan. Ooh, cool. Yeah, I want to see that one. I want to see the giant guy. All right. So that does this, and now we just wait for it to map 6 telescopes. It is gathering data, right? Yep. Object tracking is on. Okay. Let's go back to the Space Center, and we are ready for our next launch. Not the launch we were hoping it would be. So we are 2 for 2 failures and successes today. Only one was a derp. And in 4 days we will have our Eve probe. Will be entering Eve's sphere of influence. Okay, that's exciting. And didn't realize we would be getting there today. Nice. Okay, let's do this launch and then let's take a look at Eve. It's about time we were taking a good look at other planets. We've caught brief accidental glimpses of Duna, and we've caught a brief glimpse of Moho a couple of times, but that is it so far. All right, so let's take a look at the Comet Seer. Let's see. Yeah. I think that's fine as long as let's not do such a oh, Rick, I was like, wait, what the okay. I still don't have any sounds other than the Minecraft ones. I just heard someone load a crossbow and shoot it at my ear, so thank you, Elric. The king of trolls. All right, but yeah, let's not do such an aggressive gravity turn this time. Let's get a nice high apoapsis. Give us some time for the lower power upper stages to do their work. All right. Except Kerbal Space Program is crashing. All right, we're gonna need technical difficulties. So while this crashes, Let's change this to be right back. Technical difficulties. And copy, paste, and boop. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to use this excuse to go use the restroom as well. So launching the game now, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Sorry about that. All right, let me just set up my full screen windowed mode here with WinExplorer. And then we will take down the BRB screen and jump right back in. That happens about every 3 streams or so. This game will crash, it seems. All right, let's take this down. And we should have a good autosave there, so I'm not particularly worried that we have lost anything. So, but we're going to double check real quick just in case. There we go, I hear the birds. Let's just double check. As long as contract complete, Alpin. Let's check this. Reach designated orbit. Let's check the orbit of our telescope. I believe it's a probe. And here it is, COVID-2. Let's fly it real quick. Make sure that it is where we are expecting it. That's the big deal right now. All right, reach the designated orbit. Okay, cool. While we're here, it is actually showing that. So now we just wait, and it will map the asteroids. Let's jump back to the Space Center, and let's do this launch as we had intended. And yeah, we're going to be lobbing it much higher this time. Not such an aggressive gravity turn. So we'll lose a whole lot less to drag and have more time for the upper stage engines to push it into orbit. Comet Seer 1.0. Nice thumbnail. It'll fix that later. Okay. Yeah, looks like everything is good, and we are at the time that we left this, so let's go. Loading, loading, loading. 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 Loading, load All right, let's once again watch from the roof of the VAB. Let's set target as the base of the fairing. It's a good place to focus the camera. And set position as on top of, let's do right in front of the helipad. There we go. No auto flyby. Nice, that's a good view. All right, stability assist is on, throttle is up. Let's pull this up here. Flight recorder, altitude, acceleration, dynamic pressure. All right, we are go for launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. The Arcus 2 medium launch vehicle carrying the Comet Seer 1.0 number 2. All right, vehicle is gently pitching downrange. We're going for a high orbit anyway, so this is fine. Vehicle is supersonic. SRB shutdown and jettison. And maximum aerodynamic pressure as well. At prograde now. And let it hold that course. That is better. And I am going to go ahead and hydrate myself. Excellent, that's much better. All right, we're coming up soon on main engine cutoff and booster separation. And we have a nice high apoapsis. Good, good. MECO, stage separation, and second engine start. And fairing deploy. Very good. Let's get this out of the way here. There we go. Camera was really far away for some reason there. That's better. All right. We have over a minute before we reach apoapsis, and apoapsis is now in space, so that is good news. Let's go ahead and speed up the game just a little bit. Let's also maintain a pitch of 30 degrees. Yeah, I'm much more confident about this one. Yep, we are in space. There's no more drag. Yeah, we're gonna do it this time. Hooray! Redeem myself here. Alright, time to apoapsis is now increasing, which is excellent. So let's pitch down to 15 degrees. And we're about to come up on, let's slow down the game on second engine cutoff. STICO, stage separation, and ignition of our NERV nuclear rocket motor, atomic rocket motor. And yeah, let's pitch back up too. And this does not gimbal at all, so we are at the mercy of just a couple of reaction wheels here. Let's speed the game up. We're coming up on apoapsis, so we're going to be dropping, but we are still pushing our periapsis up. So hopefully that'll be plenty. Let's deploy our solar panels before I forget, because that's something I am likely to do. Maintain 30-degree pitch. Ugh. Yeah, we may have discalculated this. I hope not. Yeah, we're coming back into the atmosphere, dang it. Let's, can't retract these. Guys, I'm apparently bad at this. Okay, this counts as a double derp. That's some real serious derpage right there. So we're gonna go see Eve instead. We're not gonna go for a comet today. So, cause you guys are here to see someone new playing Kerbal Space Program, and you're seeing a whole lot of failure. That's what you're seeing. Rip. Rip, rip, rip. Rip, rippity, rip, rip, rip. Let's see, I'm gonna do this.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Alright, let's go to the tracking station. We have to wait 2 weeks before we can launch again. Self-imposed rule. But let's take a look at Eve SOI change, and let's switch to that vehicle. We're gonna need a bigger rocket, says Maslam. Yep, we are. Yep, even that was not high enough periapsis, or apoapsis. And Pete Vegman says, failure equals Kerbal Space Program. You are absolutely correct. So this should seem familiar. This is basically the same ship we were just flying, except it's got the lander that we discarded. And yeah, this is our Eve Exploration Probe number 1. And looks like we have good signal, very good. Full probe control, excellent. And we are soon to get our very first look at Eve. And now this one is a very experimental sort of a deal. And this mission has already failed one of its parameters, so we do not have the Delta V to get into the Tundra orbit asked for by the contract. So we have another probe on its way. Is this the one? Moho probe. Not sure if we can see it here. We do have another one on its way, though, and that will be the one that will have enough Delta V. It has an atomic rocket motor on it, one that actually made it to orbit. So, yeah, this thing has been flying for 182 days and is about to reach its destination. So, basically, we've changed this to no longer trying to complete that contract, but instead we're going to just see if we can drop the lander into Eve's atmosphere, send some science back to Kerbin, and hopefully the thing lands. But it is entirely experimental, so chance of failure is high and does not count as a derp. I declare it. Although if Setson shows up, I'm sure he'll derp me anyway, because that's what he likes to do. Alright, approaching Eve. And our Eve periapsis is pretty high, but we should be able to... I'm hoping we have enough Delta V to drop it into Eve's atmosphere. In fact, let's see if we can do this right now. Plan that. That does it a little bit. That does not. Let's zero that out. There we go. What about normal and anti-normal? That's definitely helping. That's a quarter of our delta V available. Okay, yeah, we can totally do this. I don't know exactly where Eve's atmosphere starts, but that should be fine. The only question then is, will this thing survive reentry? Because reentry on Eve is absolutely brutal. And we can actually move this up to right now. Or not? Oh, okay, I see. Doing it now, like that, will actually bring us too low. Okay, so if we do this, let's point towards that vector, kill the maneuver node, and then watch our periapsis drop in real time. Eve Atmo is just under 70 or 97 kilometers. Okay, good to know. We don't want to fly by it, but we also don't want to be too steep, because then we will definitely explode. Alright, so if we point right here, kill that, and then start a burn, full thrust. Yeah, Eve has a real thick atmosphere and very heavy gravity. Three megameters. 2 megameters. We should use megameters more often. $200 kilometers. All right, so in theory, this should just barely dip into Eve's atmosphere. So let's go right about there. That's almost really nice. Right. In fact, let's go ahead and delete this alarm. And yeah, our next thing is the Eve probe 2. Its transfer burn is coming up in 10 days. So all right, we are in Eve's sphere of influence. Let's send some science back to Kerbal. There's Eve right there. Bright pink. And what have we got? We've got nothing in there because there's no crew aboard. We have a magnetometer. Let's extend the boom and get some magnetometer data. We should have plenty of battery power for sending this back to Kerbal. Run the magnetometer report. You've measured the interaction between the solar wind and the magnetic field of this body as it deflects charged particles. 188.3 science can be sent back to Kerbal. Let's do it. Beautiful. All right. And that gives us enough to unlock another piece of technology. So that already is a huge, huge success. But we have more that we can do here. Let's do this in the sunlight. Leave this extended because it looks cool. And okay, these experiments are actually on the probe, the lander. Yeah, because the plan was to do these experiments at altitude and then drop this thing into orbit. We do have a thermometer on here, right? Pretty sure. I did have this installed, so let's use this. Experiments available right now. Pure scan available on this vessel. Can I do them from here? Doesn't look like it. Where did I hide that thing? There's this guy here, atmosphere analysis. I don't think this can be done Yeah, except in an actual atmosphere, because it's not just a barometer. I want to save this for if we can get onto the surface. Since I can't reset it. Is it behind the parachutes, maybe? Yes, there they are. Okay. Here's the barometer. Log pressure data. So for 41.8 science, we find there's no air up here. Not even Eve's mighty atmosphere makes it this far into space. Transmit back to Kerbal. There we go. We've got the too hot thermometer. Logged temperature data for 27.9 science. We find that the thick atmosphere acts like a mirror for heat, causing Eve to shine bright with infrared radiation. Exciting stuff. And we can't do the accelerometer up here, so we'll wait for the surface for that. But we do have 2 mystery goos, so let's do one up here. Observe the mystery goo. The goo takes on a purple coloration. Is it just the lighting, or did it change color? We'll never know, because there's no one here to ask. Transmit the data. Beautiful. Okay, we have gotten a ton of data already, so huge success. And let's see, what have we got? Yeah, so we've been actually burning... Yeah, we transferred this fuel down here, so let's go ahead... Yeah, we're not going to be able to really transmit data back home, I think, because this thing is going to burn up in the atmosphere. But if we can just get something onto the surface, that would be a huge win. And then maybe later when we do have a satellite around the planet, maybe then we can transmit data. So, let's see, these are all empty. Good. Let's go ahead and... Is this the next stage? No, that is. We do not want to eject that. Actually, we do. But not yet. We're gonna try to slow down once we enter Eve's atmosphere. That's the plan. We're planning on the fly here because this is not the original plan for this mission. Decouple. And here we go. That's hilarious that that is stuck there. Goodbye! You've served us well. That engine never did fire. Alright, we're gonna come in real hot here. So chances of us actually surviving reentry are low, but we're gonna try. Let's see, we have 1 day and 5 hours until we reach our periapsis. Let's look at Eve and enjoy the view on our way down. Yeah, retrograde is like straight up. Got a nice illuminated surface of Eve, and much like Venus, for which it is an analog, it is covered in clouds, so we cannot get a good look at the surface, not with visible spectrum. But we might also have a world's first. Yeah, world's first milestones. First flyby of Eve, and first scientific data from Eve. I'm going to leave these here as our recap for next week. So, yeah, we are 14 megameters above the surface of Eve. Let's keep going. And it, of course, looks more realistic this way because of the scatterer and environmental visual enhancements mods. We can see the pole. Yeah, we're coming in nice and inclined too, which is not a problem. Well, if nothing else, we're seeing a new planet for the first time today, so I'm going to say that overall, even though we lost to Kerbal, this is a success. Let's get cool shot. And of course, we're going to come down over the night side because that's what we do. There we go. That's a good shot. And we don't have probe control either, so yeah, we're gonna dip down into the atmosphere, but we're gonna also watch this thing explode, which is unfortunate, but still, we got some science from Eve, from a new planet. Our first look at Eve. Let's get another screenshot. There we go. I like it. Yeah, our Eve exploration probe is, it's gonna burn up. Although I might have to simulate that because it might, the physics are probably not being calculated on that thing, so it's probably going to be ejected back out. And I'll have to delete it from the tracking station. Oh, look at that gradient, though. That is cool. There we go. If nothing else, we can take some pretty pictures. Alright, we are definitely in atmosphere. And exploding. Boom. Well, our next mission here is going to have a lot more Delta V to work with, so we'll have a much better approach. But that, believe it or not, is by far the biggest success of today. It's a big success. Let's go back to the Space Center and spend our science points. And I'm gonna drink to that. I'm gonna boozinate to that. Awesome. Okay, yeah, we have 300.8. So we could get something from this tier, but I definitely want to go here and get the advanced aerodynamics, specifically for this part, the air brakes. So we haven't done our Callisto heavy launch vehicle in a long time because it is very difficult to land. So I'm going to redesign that between streams here. Because we only have a half hour left today, so no time to design it on stream. But we'll do our testing of it next week, and these will work a whole lot better than my hacked together robotic parts ones. So we also get some other nice pieces. We get some more propellers. We should do something with airplanes at some point, maybe a helicopter, quadcopter maybe. That would be fun. But yeah, this is the prize right here. So we're spending 160 science points just for that part. Also, though, I am looking forward to these because these liquid fuel fuselages are excellent for holding just liquid fuel for the nuclear rocket engines. So these will allow us, plus this Mark III cockpit that carries 4 crew, these will give us quite the ability to send manned missions to other planets. So that's going to happen very soon as well. So we are entering a new era in Kerbal spaceflight. But we don't have enough science for it yet. Let's see, what else? We're not really that interested in that. But yeah, we've got these expensive guys here. But our missions, they take longer, but they also yield a whole lot more science now. Yeah, we're not going to do either of those. Those are ridiculous. Ferry 3 tourists, they probably want some ridiculous things. Fly by the moon, land on the moon, fly by Duna. I think that's a lot of money, but they want some ridiculous things for that. Not until we have better ships that can really do that, and that's what we're going to be unlocking soon. So no, we're not doing that. Let's see. We have 2 weeks before we can do our next launch, and in 7 days, in 1 week, we have the transfer burn for the Eve 2 probe. Let's transfer to that vehicle and take a look at its situation. Yeah, look at this. We have 6.3 kilometers per second just in this stage, 9.3 total. Yeah, we have a 2.5 kilometer per second burn coming up in 8 days. So we gave ourselves 1 day of lead time on that. And that is going to give us an approach here. And we will still have 6 kilometers per second to play with when we get there. So this is going to be much more promising than that last one. And we're dipping all the way down into the orbit of Moho to get there. So let's go ahead and warp to that alarm. And then delete and close it. Here we go. Just about there. Delete and close. Okay, so we are 1 day away from the maneuver node. So, and here we have 41 days until our next thing, which is a correction burn for our Duna mission. So our next launch can happen at about 34 days to that alarm. So let's go ahead and time warp a little bit further. Get close to this thing. We're 5 hours away. And it's a 12-minute burn. Holy cow. Yeah. Efficiency rather than thrust on this engine. Alright, we're 1 hour away. Let's go ahead and orient ourselves at the maneuver vector, so that we don't have to do that late. At about 6 minutes and 3 seconds from the node, we're going to go ahead and go full thrust. Yeah, and it's basically just a prograde maneuver, so... Actually, I think... Let's take a look. Yeah, there's a tiny bit of anti-normal component to it, but it's mostly just prograde. Why are you going back? Don't do that. Come on. Yeah, and this time what we're going to do, we're going to put the satellite and lander together into the designated Tundra orbit for our contract. And then we're going to detach the lander and deorbit that thing and hope it survives reentry. That is a bonus beyond the actual contract that we are trying to complete here. And with a satellite in orbit, theoretically it should at least be able to maintain communication. That is the hope, at least. Alright, let's time warp a bit. And precision on this maneuver node is not super important as far as when we do the burn. We could probably even do it right now. Alright, coming up on the node. 15 minutes. 10. Alright, 6 minutes and 3 seconds is what we want. Alright, engine ignition in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. All right, we've got a 12-minute burn. So we're gonna go ahead and speed up the game to double time, and that turns a 12-minute burn into a 6-minute burn, and that gives me time to enjoy some nice, refreshing lemonade. Delicious. I'm excited about how Kerbal Space Program 2, they're planning to allow you to be under thrust during a regular on-rails time warp. Because for interstellar travel that they're planning, that's going to be absolutely essential. Otherwise, you're looking at multiple day in real life burns. And that's no good. Let's triple time it. Quadruple time it. Looks like we are not dropping any physics calculations, so we are fine. At least for now. That changes a 12-minute burn into a 3-minute burn. Much more entertaining. Alright, I'm gonna mute myself for just a moment. Cough button. Sorry about that. No one wants to hear me blow my nose, though I do wonder how much thrust it would produce. And yeah, when I said prograde, I meant retrograde, because we're lowering our orbit, not raising it. Alright, we're halfway through the burn and past our node. And everything is looking normal. Just gonna shine a light in you guys' face. There we go. Alright, we're getting close to the end of the burn. We get to about 400 meters per second. I'm going to slow the game back down towards regular time. There it is. Just drop it down to ×3. Down to ×2. We can leave it here for just a little bit. Got 45 seconds left in the burn. Alright, real time. We got 23 seconds left. I'm chasing that maneuver marker on the nav ball. Let's throttle down for a little bit of precision, and let's look at this as well. Alright, we want to look at our closest approach. Alright, that is pretty good. Our inclination is still 2.1 degrees, so I think the next thing to do is go to the descending node and burn normal. So let's add a maneuver there. Pin that. And so descending node, so we burn normal. Let's pin that so we can see what we're doing with this. We do want to come in kind of inclined, but this should be fine. Okay, yeah. That small burn will give us a an approach, or an encounter with Eve. So let's do that. And let's add a new alarm. And let's do maneuver, Eve, action, burn. And let's give us one day of notice. And add the alarm. There we go. So yeah, that's going to come up in 72 days. Next thing is our Duna correction burn in 40 days, followed by a transfer window for Moho. So let's we've got 20 minutes left. Let's try one more time to launch a comet mission. Let's go here, Space Center, and basically what we want is to beef up the upper stage, I think. Let's take a look at our launcher and see what we can do to boost it just a little bit more without being utterly ridiculous. Because the more boosters approach can only take you so far. Alright, but that's another success right there. I'm calling it right now. Okay, so we could put bigger boosters on it. We already have a thrust weight ratio of 173 off the pad and 137 after we jettison those. Closer to 2 or 1.5 because we'll be through a little bit of this stage. Here's where our biggest issue is. 0.6 for our thrust weight ratio here. We've got the Wolfhound engine. I think we need a heftier engine. And a little bit longer upper stage. So Wolfhound right here has 375 kilonewtons of thrust in vacuum. We're using it because of its high specific impulse of 380, but obviously that's not doing it. Thrust is actually going to serve us better in this case. So if we go here, let's see, 375, we don't want to go lower than that. Skipper, this is a good mid-stage engine. Yeah, double the thrust, lower specific impulse, but not awful. So let's use, how big is the Skipper? It's good. Let's use the Skipper. Right there, like that. Yep, and that gives us a higher than 1 thrust-to-weight ratio there, which is more than we specifically strictly need, but let's also stretch this tank a bit. This one we've got 1440 liquid fuel. Let's just add a little tank on top. Just a bit. Only a little bit more fuel. So yeah, that should be good. Let's double check our staging since we have changed it. Main engine and solid boosters and launch clamps. Separate solid boosters, separate the main stage, and then ignite our upper stage. Separate the fairing, separate the main spacecraft and ignite the Nerve atomic rocket motor, separate the satellite and its engine. Okay, that is perfect. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and just save that. And we need to go 7 more days. Let's time warp 7 days and then roll this thing out to the launch pad. I guess 6 more days. One, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, Sentinel has now mapped 5 out of 6 suitable asteroids. Nice. Okay, it's gonna find the part is called the Sentinel telescope, but we renamed it to COVID. Because I'm so funny. Descent Max, welcome, saying, ooh, what's this? This is Descent 4. I mean, it's Kerbal Space Program. So, yeah, welcome Descent Max. Good to see you here. We've got about 15 minutes left, and we're going to make our third attempt. We've had 2 failed attempts so far to launch an ambitious mission to go and take a look at a comet. So we just passed a bit of time so that we can move the clock forward and simulate the time it should be taking to roll the rocket out to the launch pad after building it and refurbish the launch pad. So yeah, we are going to go ahead and launch. I don't have a cool name for this one yet. I will probably retcon the name of this thing later. But yeah, this is currently just the Comet Seer. I'm open to naming suggestions. My favorite one so far that I've come up with is the Celestial Object Vector Intercept Detection Telescope, the COVID telescope. But yeah, we're going to launch this thing with an atomic rocket motor and see if we can aim it towards a comet. The trick is we know where what is probably a comet is, but we don't have its vector calculated yet. So we're going to be... This is quite a long shot. And we're not going to be able to see fruits of this yet. But yeah. Yep. Astronaut simulator stuff. Yep. Kerbal Space Program. This is a game from 2011. And yeah, it's a fairly realistic physics simulator where you design and build and launch rockets. I do have quite a few mods, but most of them don't change gameplay. The only parts that I have added to the game are some cameras. So essentially, all the physics, all the rocket parts are stock, but I get to do some fun stuff. Like, first we can look down the booster at this rocket. COVID, yes. Also, I can target this rocket with a different camera, set our position, and we've been enjoying watching the launches from on top of the vehicle assembly building, right there. Like this. So yeah, this is my medium launch vehicle called the Arcus 2. Arcus being the bear that is the Little Dipper. And so we're going to throttle up, turn our stability assist on, and this is another mod here. And this does have some autopilot stuff in there that I'm not using, but I'm mostly using it for some of the HUD info and the flight recorder here, because I like charts and graphs. So altitude, acceleration, and dynamic pressure. And yeah, we are go for launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. The vehicle is pitching downrange. Yeah, the last 2 attempts to launch this thing failed to reach orbit, unfortunately. We did not quite have the thrust on the upper stage, so we have increased the amount of fuel in the upper stage and upgraded the engine to a stronger but less efficient engine. Hopefully that will give us the thrust we need. The vehicle is supersonic, and we have solid motor burnout and separation, and maximum aerodynamic pressure as well. And everything is looking nominal. I say nominal because that's how Jeff Innsbrucker says it when he does his occasional launch cast for SpaceX. He used to be the main guy. I miss when he was the guy that always did it because he is the most entertaining. Everything is looking nominal. That sounded more like David Lynch than John Innsbrucker, but you know. Alright, the next event we're waiting for is the main engine cutoff, which will be followed by booster separation and second engine start. Alright, we have Miko, stage separation, second engine start. close this. We don't need that anymore. There's the booster cam, and here is the camera inside of the fairing. Very soon we are going to deploy the fairing. Our dynamic pressure is down to less than 1 atmosphere now, so we should be good to deploy the fairing. There it goes. Yeah, there they go. And we're going to pitch up to 30 degrees here. Otherwise, we're going to see another failure, and we don't want that. But yeah, this we have 1.5 thrust to weight ratio, so we're doing a whole lot better than where we were before. This one might even succeed. Who knows? We'll find out. Yeah, we're pushing our apoapsis ahead of us, so that's a good sign. What's not a good sign is how we're running out of fuel on this stage. Might not have stretched the tank enough. Alright. Starting the atomic motor. We're still in the atmosphere, and we do not have the ability to stay forward. No, this is also gonna fail. We're spending so much money on this. 3 strikes. That's 3 strikes. I mean, I could say this is our tests. These are our tests, and I take a whole lot more risks on unmanned flights than I do on manned flights, but we're gonna add another derp.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Elric, that's very appropriate, but I want to ask you, does this make you feel better about your Kerbal struggles? Because you're new to the game and have been cursing me for getting you hooked on this game. All right, let's we're gonna launch this dang thing. Let's let's get it back down, burned up in the atmosphere. Welcome, Skillful DTS1. There's your fanfare. Hope you enjoyed it. Good to see you here. Thank you for the follow. And Elric saying, oh yeah, seeing fail gives me hope. Laughing at other people's misfortunes, huh? All right. I think, honestly, this is the most iconic view we've seen in this stream. This is the 3rd one of these that we have sent, full of fissile material. No, just yours. I respect that. All right, yeah, I've sped the game up. We're gonna get a launch of this thing. We have one more time. We have time for one more attempt today. That's it. And the good thing, we've been making a lot of money. We still have more than 2 million spaceos, so... Alright, close that, go back to the Space Center, and we're going to let 2 more weeks pass, and we're going to try one more time, and that will be the last thing we do, win or lose, on this stream. Poor Shipwreck, he's missing all the big booms. Alright, so we're going to go until we have about 20 days to the dinner correction burn. So, I know I've explained before in the stream, so bear with me if you already know, but for those new to the game, I could just immediately launch the next one, but we have a lot of long-term missions that we're flying at once. And so in order to move the clock forward and get to those, I'm also simulating the time that it would take to maybe build the rocket and move it out to the pad, refurbish the pad. So I've imposed a 2 weeks duration between mission launches. Elric with the Boozinate and the Hydrate. Thank you, Elric. In memory of the several satellites and one Kerbal that we have lost today. And the Hydrate as well. Speaking of shipwreck. Uh-oh. Because we wrecked some ships. Or because you took his favorite redeem. Fun stuff. All right, let's go into the vehicle assembly building. Pick up our ship and roll it out to the launch pad after we stretch this tank a little bit more. So yeah, let's yep, took his redeems. Okay, that's the one. All right, we're gonna do this. That's the one we just took off, so no. All right, bigger fuel tank on the upper stage and bigger boosters. Let's see, those were the Thumper, I believe. Where's the Thumper? Yeah, that one there. Yep, that one gives a thrust of 250 kilonewtons at atmosphere. That one's way overkill. Let's not do that one. 670. Okay, we're gonna do the kickback. That's the next one up. And let's go ahead and we're gonna duplicate this in a minute here. Make sure that it's on there straight. Looks good to me. Let's put a aerodynamic nose cone on the top. Boop. And we want to ×4 move it up the side of the rocket. And we may want a Sepratron motor on this too, because these are bigger and we want a clean separation. So let's take Sepratron. We can get right down under here. We might have to lift this thing up. There we go. So we can look under the skirt. There we go. Put 2 on each booster. All right, and now we need to lower this back down. Let's make sure we have auto strut to grandparent part. There we go. And let's check our staging, because I know it's wrong. Those go in this stage here. These are the Sepratrons. They go on the separation stage. So yeah, solid boosters in the main engine and our launch clamps in stage 0. Then we've got our separation of our solid boosters. Yes. Okay, cool. 3 seconds. All right, good. All right, so we will still have this burning after we deploy these. That's what I want. And then the rest of this is still good. So there we go. Save and launch. Let's take it out to the launch pad. And this is our last chance. We're at technically ending time. I'm gonna go just a little bit over just for this because we need a win on this. We really need a win on this. Here we go. We're loading it up. There we go. Close that. Let's turn on the flight recorder. You got this, says Descent Max. Thank you for your faith in me, Descent Max. I hope I got this. Let's watch from... Oops. Let's watch from this camera. Oh, we don't have that camera anymore. I took it off. Whoops. That's okay. So we're going to do set target. Let's set the camera to aim at the base of the fairing. And let's watch it from over here this time. Boop. There we go. That'll look pretty cool. Skull saying, space, here we come. Indeed, here we go. Throttle up, stability assist is on, and we are go for launch in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Vehicle is very gently pitching downrange. We're pulling about 2 Gs now. Our thrust rate ratio is over 2. Vehicle is supersonic. We have maximum aerodynamic pressure. And yeah, that always throws me when the sound just cuts out like that. But it's okay. Coming up on solid motor burnout. SRB burnout and jettison. Nice, clean jettison. Look at those Separatrons doing their work. Very cool. All right, we're just going to let this apoapsis climb. There we go. We've changed automatically to our orbit mode. That's fine. We don't need this anymore. We're good. Coming up on main engine cutoff. MECO confirmed, stage separation, and second engine start. And fairing separation also confirmed. All right, now we're going to pitch down to about 15 degrees and get some lateral velocity going. We have 2 minutes until apoapsis, so that should be good. And this is our upgraded upper stage with more fuel than before, so we definitely have this time. In fact, we're going to pitch down to the horizon. Okay, this is looking a whole lot better than before. I'm gonna shine this right in your eyes. Burn your faces off, audience. Burn all my friends' faces off. It's just the kind of guy I am. Guys, says Descent Max. I'd say I'm sorry, but I did it on purpose. Alright, so yeah, between streams I'm going to work on at least the preliminary design of the Callisto 2 heavy launch vehicle, which we want to be a reusable booster, because we haven't landed a booster in a long time in this series. We've got much better technology for doing so now. And yeah, we are pushing our apoapsis ahead of us. Things are looking really good this time. We'll also be next week looking at this vehicle again. We're just going to park this in orbit for now, and then we're going to choose its actual target next week and send it that way. We'll try rescuing Kaley again. Poor Kaley. I'm going to have to tell her that she died. And we'll also do that promised Jeb rescue launch, which will be another one of these, but with a different payload. Because Jeb has been waiting for a long time, stuck in orbit around the sun. There we go. Stage separation and atomic engine start. And this time, it's enough. Speed up the game. Plus, let's take a look at other events that are coming up. We've got our Duna correction burn. We'll do another launch to Moho, and another launch to Drez. And our Eve correction burn that we set up today is coming up as well. So, yeah, a lot coming up. All right, let's cut the engine. We have a safe orbit. I'm going to circularize this at 250 kilometers. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that later. Look at this. It's an orbit. It's an orbit, and it has, in just the stage, 11 more kilometers of delta V. So this currently has more delta V available to it than the entirety, including launch vehicle, of anything launched previous to our atomic rocket technology. So that's very exciting. Oh boy, thanks for being here for all the derps and fails today, guys. And unfortunately, we're gonna have a proper memorial next week for the pod person version of Kaley that we decided that was. Let's see who is on. We've got. I don't think we've ever rated Hoof. I think he's Dutch. He's playing Minecraft. Unless someone has a suggestion of a Kerbal Space Program player, it's been really difficult finding. I'm gonna see if there's a longer list on my phone here than just the top 5 that it shows in my recommended. Oh no, we're gonna raid Kaley. We're gonna raid Kaley, who don't tell her she died. She's in the Frillcraft UHC, playing Minecraft right now. So let's see. We've got. Yeah, let's raid Kaley. There she is. I'm going to start the raid, and here is the raid message. And these are follower emotes now. So, oh, they won't work in her. Okay, yeah. So they're follower emotes now, but they won't work in her stream, unfortunately. So that's what I found out about follower emotes after setting this up. So just copy the Run It's a Wild Dan Bear Pig thing, and I think I'm going to duplicate these as subscriber emotes so they have a chance to be shown in her stream. But yeah, thanks guys. I'll be back on Monday with First Craft, and on Wednesday, I haven't decided yet. I might start Descent 3. We'll see. All right. Goodbye!